Lust destroyed my life. I couldn't look people in the eyes, I had no energy, and I had no confidence. I later realized after doing some research that the ancients said when you release your sexual fluids, you are destroying a part of yourself in order to create another human being, which makes complete sense. In order to create a business, for example, you have to destroy your time and attention. Creation demands destruction. Every time you release that fluid, you are literally destroying parts of your vitality, your nutrients, your brain, your DNA is all going into that fluid to create an extension of you. Therefore, when you retain this sexual fluid and keep it within you, it feeds your brain neurons, it feeds your nervous system, and literally lubricates your body with electrical plasma energy. I know it's difficult, I know it's hard to overcome, but this is the basis you must master in order to walk the spiritual path and walk the path of God. Best way you can do that is by understanding this, which is what helped me a lot. Your environment is more powerful than your willpower. Your willpower can only be as strong to a certain level, but your environment is what produces your temptations. If you go on your phone and you see something that can provoke the thought into your consciousness that provokes the feeling of lust or releasing your fluids, then that's what needs to be gone. If you're going to clubs, going out around a lot of people who are also lusting, they need to be removed from your environment. Instagram, TikTok all have the features where you can say hide this content. Remove anything in your environment that can poison your consciousness with the thoughts of lust. I can promise you from first-hand experience, life gets a lot more enjoyable when you stop releasing these fluids. When you release the fluid, it floods your brain with dopamine, and that's the best feeling you could possibly feel in life, which is sex. But when you refrain from this, you retain it, you no longer flood your brain with dopamine, you start to enjoy the little things in life. If you look at Erica Kirk's ring, you'll see the letter G, but everyone always says, what does this G represent? Yes, it's Freemasonic, but this is the reason why guide, gnosis, geometry, Genesis, God all begins with a G, because it all relates to the generative principle. The generative principle is the force that creates all reality, which is care, or the heart, the love. All creation is created through love. You're watching this video right now because you care about gaining the information. And if you don't care, you'll take the action to scroll and find another video you care about. Whatever's in front of you in your reality, it's because of the G, the generative principle, the care energy. You only take action on what you care about. If you care about money, you'll take the actions to generate that reality. If you care about football, you'll take the actions to generate a football reality. So this is the G. This is the force that drives human action. This is why they say money makes the world go round, because everyone cares about money. Heaven and hell are not places, they are mind states. Head is heaven and heel is hell, and the bottom of the foot is called the soul. 144,000 chosen ones will go to heaven according to the Bible. 1 plus 4 and 4 is 9. 9 represents consciousness. That's why I is the 9th letter of the English alphabet, because when you say I, you're referring to your consciousness. 144,000 is a state of consciousness. That's why 666 adds up to 9, because the mark of the beast is the lower self. 66 is 3 sixes. 3 represents the 3 aspects of consciousness: thoughts, emotions, actions. 6 is the number of physical reality. That's why the cube has 6 sides, and you're in a cube now. You can only move forward, backwards, left, right, upwards, and downs. 666 is when your thoughts, emotions, and actions are all based on physical reality, cutting off your spirituality. You are the beast in your lower nature. Your consciousness does not operate in this physical reality. That's why you must think outside of the box. The body is the box. The body is the beast, the animal. You are an individual. You exist in 2 realms at once, a material external reality and a spiritual non-physical reality internally, which is the compass and the square combined, spirit and matter. Internal spiritual world projects your outer material world. Spirit is heaven, matter is hell. Reason you feel so lost is because you don't understand your nature. Understanding who you are makes you feel so much better. You're not fat, your gut is just bloated. Your cortisol levels are probably pretty high, which is giving you skin acne, tired all day, puffy face, and always taking naps. To get rid of this to this, you must remove all unnatural foods. Your gut only recognizes natural foods grown by the earth. Unnatural foods activates the defense system, which causes inflammation and mucus to be sent to this area. You don't have skin issues, you don't have body odor, you don't have bad breath. You have a toxic, rotting gut with leftover food in it. Everything outside of your body is an internal problem. If I was to encounter any issues with my body, I would go on a single fruit diet, preferably blueberries or watermelon, while taking sea moss and herbs. I'll do this for 2 weeks, and then maintain this diet while fasting 2 days a week, plus grounding daily, as well as being in the sun daily. You won't lose weight, you lose impurities. After a month, you'll gain all of these benefits. If you need to heal and you don't know what to do, the Human Health Guide will give you all the essential knowledge. Did you know your heart is not actually a pump? The heart is in the shape of a chestahedron, a 7-sided shape where all of the surface areas are the same. When placing a chestahedron in a box, it sits on an angle of 36 degrees off center. This is the same angle which the heart sits in the chest, hence why it's called a chestahedron. Placing a chestahedron in water creates a vortex in the water, and your heart tissues is in a vortex spiral. Your heart is actually one muscle but wrapped in a spiraling vortex form. This is because your heart is a vortex energy generator. Blood enters the heart and creates a vortex spiral inside of the heart. Your heart turns water in the blood into plasma, the fourth state of water, which they'll never tell you about. Plasma makes up approximately 55% of your blood. The earth is electromagnetic. The reason why heart rearranged is earth is because the heart takes the electromagnetic energy of the earth and turns this into plasma in the blood to run the physical body. Your heart is directly connected to the universe, to the electromagnetic energy of the earth. This is why we always see Jesus pointing at his heart. Your heart is inside of the chest. This is where the treasure is, inside of the heart. Your heart contains 40,000 neurons, which is the exact same cells in your brain. The heart is the emotional brain which gives you guidance. It tells you what is right and what is wrong. This is why we say follow your heart. So much more that goes into the heart. I teach everything in the new lecture in my university. 13 is not unlucky, they made you scared. Jesus has 12 disciples, he is the 13th. 1 plus 3 is 4. You have a fourfold nature, a mind, spirit, emotion, and body. This is why he has 4 gospels. Mark shows Jesus as a spiritual teacher. John shows Jesus as an emotional creature, water into wine. Matthew shows Jesus as a mental body, where he's intellectual and communicative. And Luke shows Jesus as a human being, where he does physical things for other people. 13 represents human consciousness. They have demonized it. That's why the word sacred is scared rearranged. They made you scared of all the sacred symbols. Water is emotion, air is the mind, earth is the body, and fire is the spirit. The Bible is filled with metaphors, cryptograms, astrological codes, and numerological codes. Jesus never existed. He represents you. He represents God made flesh. You are an extension of God's consciousness. Watch this YouTube video to find out. The moon is your mind. You can use the moon to your advantage. A full moon is very powerful. There are more police calls on a full moon than any other day of the month, the moon. The moon enhances our psyche, our internal state. If you are angry and a full moon comes around, this will be enhanced. And you will become a monster, a moon star, or a lunatic. Luna is the moon. On a full moon, you should be visualizing, thinking and feeling the desired reality you want, because your intent, thoughts and emotions are more powerful on a full moon. This is why if you type in witches, they're always next to a full moon, because this is the best time to cast a spell. 28-day cycle of the moon, 28-day cycle of the menstrual cycle. It's in direct correlation with the moon. The moon governs liquids in your body. Fasting on a full moon is also very powerful because the water in your body is being pulled by the moon. That's why the tides of the ocean follow the moon. 28-day cycle, this is a month, a moon. 365 days divided by 28, which is 13. There are 13 monthly cycles. Where is the missing month? We do not know what year we are truly in, people. I think they did this to stop us being in sync with the monthly cycle. What do you guys think? There's a secret meaning behind 666. 666 is three sixes. 3 represents the 3 aspects of creation and consciousness: thoughts, emotions, and actions. These 3 things have created your life. This is where it gets scary. The number 6 represents the cube, and this material world is created in cubes: forwards, down, up, backwards, left, and right. 6 represents the material world. 666 represents your thought, emotions, and actions, all going towards your material body and material pleasure, cutting yourself off from spirituality. Red is the slowest vibrational frequency, and it represents chaotic and intense emotions like hate and anger. You are the devil. It's not a real person. It's the lower aspects of the human mind. The voice we hear in our head that tells us to do bad things is not the devil. It's an aspect of your mind. He has a goat head. Goats are ground animals. They represent the lower self. Angels have wings, which represent the higher self. Have you ever wondered why, if you minus all of the numbers on a clock, it adds up to 6? Well, here's why. 6 is the number of time, space, and matter. It represents the 3-dimensional material world. Up, down, left, right, backwards, and forward. It's a 6-sided cube. 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute, 24 hours in a day, 2 plus 4 equals 6. That's 666 in total. This is why you see black cubes everywhere you go, or the Nintendo GameCube. Jesus' cross is a cube unfolded. Jews wear a cube on top of their heads, and there's a reason why we say think outside the box. This is where it gets a bit crazy. 666 is the exact same structure of carbon, and your body's made out of carbon. The body is the mark of the beast, the mark of this 3-dimensional material world. When the Bible says Satan, who's the god of this world, it represents Saturn, which is the god of time. Everything dies in time, therefore time is the god of this world. It rules this world. Everything physical began as a thought in the mind. The physical world is a shadow or an effect of thought. Therefore, your physical body is stuck in time, but your mind is outside of time. This is why your mind can go in the past and the future, but your body cannot. Thinking outside the box is a term referring to thinking outside of the physical plane, which is activating the light bodies, the eternal self, also known as astral projection. What I'm saying is your body is nothing. You are not your body. You are the eternal consciousness, which is not bound by the physical plane. You just have to awaken these other bodies. Have you ever wondered why, if you minus all of the numbers on a clock, it adds up to 6? Well, here's why. 6 is the number of time, space, and matter. It represents the 3-dimensional material world. Up, down, left, right, backwards, and forward. It's a 6-sided cube. 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute, 24 hours in a day, 2 plus 4 equals 6. That's 666 in total. This is why you see black cubes everywhere you go, or the Nintendo GameCube. Jesus' cross is a cube unfolded. Jews wear a cube on top of their heads, and there's a reason why we say think outside the box. This is where it gets a bit crazy. 666 is the exact same structure of carbon, and your body's made out of carbon. The body is the mark of the beast, the mark of this 3-dimensional material world. When the Bible says Satan, who's the god of this world, it represents Saturn, which is the god of time. Everything dies in time, therefore time is the god of this world. It rules this world. Everything physical began as a thought in the mind. The physical world is a shadow or an effect of thought. Therefore, your physical body is stuck in time, but your mind is outside of time. This is why your mind can go in the past and the future, but your body cannot. Thinking outside the box is a term referring to thinking outside of the physical plane, which is activating the light bodies, the eternal self, also known as astral projection. What I'm saying is your body is nothing. You are not your body. You are the eternal consciousness, which is not bound by the physical plane. You just have to awaken these other bodies. The Egyptian gods never existed. They symbolize the different body parts of your body. Anubis is the dog, which represents the tongue, the barking, because the power of life and death is in the tongue. The falcon of Horus is the inner bird, which is inside of the brainstem. Thoth, the god of wisdom. Thoth is thought, because he is the god of wisdom, the thought, the human mind. Jed pillar is the spinal column, which is a part of the brain. The Ankh is the womb, the uterus in the womb, because this is the portal into the physical world. This is symbolizing how the visual field works with the brain, because you do not see into the external world. What you are seeing is an image produced by the visual cortex in the back of the brain. The back of the casket is the cerebellum, which is all to do with motor learning and cognitive functions of the brain. The scarab is the skull. Hindus used to build temples in the human form because they understood this is the most advanced piece of technology on the face of the earth. The Most High does not dwell in houses made by human hands. It's your human body. You are God made flesh. They don't want you finding out how sacred your body is and how powerful your mind is. You are the all-seeing eye on top of the pyramid, looking into the three-dimensional world. You are Solomon's temple, the temple of the soul and the mon, the soul and the mind in the temple. If you want to learn more, read this book. Take a look at this. A TV presenter accidentally did the Baphomet symbol. This was done live on television, but there is something more to this symbol. The Baphomet is good, it's not evil. Religion has miseducated you to think it's evil. I'm going to break this down to you from top to bottom so that you can gain an understanding. First of all, symbols speak to your subconscious mind. Symbols activate thoughts in the invisible realms of mind. Symbols are keys to understand higher things. This symbol can be used for good and the bad. The goat is a ground animal, represents the lower self, the ego. The wings are an air animal, represents the higher self, the elevated state. The dome he's sitting on is the earth element. The fish scales on the stomach are the water element. We have the fire element, also representing human enlightenment, the higher self, and the kundalini. The wings also represent the air element. As above, so below. What happens in the mind happens in your external reality. The moon represents emotion, the feminine aspect of your consciousness. The moon is either on top of you, ruling your body, or you are standing on top of the moon, controlling your emotions. This is not the devil horns. It represents the lower self, the moon controlling you, your emotions. He's male and female, representing polarity of the physical plane, left and right. The Baphomet is a symbol which symbolizes the transformation from the lower mind to the higher mind, to a sleep, to awakened and enlightenment. I have a whole new book of wisdom coming soon, which will explain absolutely everything in detail. You're cursing yourself if you do this. It's the Antichrist cross, which represents the brain and the heart and cutting the connection. The reason why this is bad is because your brain and your heart are directly connected. The cranial brain does the thinking, but every thought you think produces an emotion felt in the heart. In fact, the heart has its own neural network with 40,000 specialized cells, which are the same cells found in the cranial brain. Therefore, the heart is the second brain. However, the cranial brain has two hemispheres, therefore thinking with it can cause dualism and confusion. The heart has an intelligence of its own, just like the cranial brain. However, the heart does not have two hemispheres, it's a singular organ. So when you say follow your heart, this has a deep meaning, because the heart is the tablet that tells you what is right and what is wrong. When you hurt someone, you can feel it in your heart. The heart is the moral law within you that tells you what is right and what is wrong. That's why Jesus is always pointing at the heart. When you follow your heart long enough, this takes you to your life purpose. It's easy to connect to our heart intelligence. All you have to do is turn off the cranial thoughts, put your hand on your heart, and listen to the emotional intelligence. They don't want us connected to our hearts because this is where love and empathy comes from, and this is where our true life purpose resides. The Book of Wisdom Volume 2 is now available. You can get it in hardback exclusive edition or just paperback. There is nothing holy about Israel. It's an allegory. Isis, Ra, and El, left feminine and right masculine brains. When these two electrical forces unify and become the Star of David, this is when you unlock El, which means God, consciousness. The Holy Land is your consciousness. It's an elevated state of consciousness. Why do you think Moses went up on a mountain to meet with God? It's an allegory for raising your frequency, raising your consciousness, to altering it beyond physical. Noah's Ark, he goes on the mountain with God and kills all of the flesh. It's allegorical for raising your consciousness and killing the desire for physical flesh and physical material things, because your mind is not a part of the physical plane. It's a higher dimension. The mind is God. The Bible's written in allegorical code so that it engages us to use our right brains and decipher things and engage in critical thinking. Today, we're just given everything. We're given information. This is why we're so stupid. We need to use our right brains and decipher symbols. This is why the ancients were so advanced. You don't need food, you need charging. There are many different ways you can charge the body, like grounding or standing next to trees. You are a biological battery. You feel hungry? This is not hunger. It's your body getting rid of waste from the colon. It's important that you fast. After 48 hours of fasting, your body starts to produce stem cells to regenerate itself. Your body will start to eat itself and kill all the bad cells. The human body is an electromagnetic technological machine. Every cell in your body conducts electricity. You need electrical food that's grown under the electric sun because you are an electrical battery. The sun's electric power is crystallized within the food. You are a light being, a hue meaning light and a man meaning manifested. You are light manifested. This is real food. You need electric food to charge your electric body. You don't need dead flesh. This is why you get charged in a court, because you're an electric battery. And when you get charged, you sit in a cell, a battery cell. This field shows sickness before your physical body is actually sick. The strength of your field has a correlation with your health. Thoughts are electric, emotions are magnetic. You need positive thoughts and emotions to strengthen this field. If you want to learn more, this book will tell you everything. Religions were made to hide the truth about yourself. Matthew 21:12, Jesus went into the temple of God. Then it goes to say in Corinthians 3:16, do you not know that you are the temple of God? This is why the side of your head's called a temple, because the kingdom of God is within you. Christians aren't even following the word of Jesus, they're following the word of the church. Jesus tells you to meditate. When you pray, enter into the inner chamber and shut the door. The inner chamber is the inner part of your brain, your mind. Shutting the door is turning off the mind. Jesus says take no thought 5 times in Matthew chapter 6 because you have 5 senses. Jesus is telling you to turn off the 5 senses and meditate. When you turn off the body and thought, other aspects of your consciousness can open up and connect with God. Jesus was a mystic telling you to go within yourself, not a God to worship. The church is the biggest scam. No man in the sky will ever save you. The devil does not exist. This book will literally tell you everything. Use the code WISDOM, all capital letters, for 40% off. Clothes are magnetic. Every cell in your body has a magnetic field. Everything is made out of electromagnetic fields. This is the true model of the atom. The clothes you wear carry magnetic energy. This is the reason why all of the ancients only wore linen robes, because the frequency of natural fabrics are very high. These are not just fabrics, they are frequency, they are vibrational energy. Synthetic fabrics lower your frequency, and they leak microplastics into the pores in your skin. The Egyptians, Sumerians, Mayans all wore jewelry because they understood the frequency of metals. By wearing jewelry in certain places, we are enhancing the energy flow in the meridian in that area of the body. If we have wrist pain, we can wear copper around the wrist, which will enhance the frequency. Cells create organs, the organs create systems, and the system creates the body. Every cell, every organ, and every system has its own magnetic field, and this creates the overall magnetic field. That's why you have an anatomy. You are a giant atom. I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I'm not saying I wear linen all the time, but maybe this is something that we should consider. Our consciousness, our energy is affected by these magnetic fields. You see, knowledge is power. When you don't know these things, you have no influence. This book will give you understanding of who you are, where you are, and what you are. Alcohol means body-eating spirit, alcohol in Arabic. That's why vodka is called spirits. A jinn is a jinn, which is another type of spiritual entity. Alcohol was developed by alchemists who developed a way of extracting spirits from liquid. Alcohol is a form of a magic potion which the ancients used to alter their consciousness. They don't tell you about the astral and etheric plane, the realms beyond physical. Alcohol contains ethanol, which is ethanol, which is the barrier between the physical and the astral plane. Ancient magicians used potions to enhance their speed, strength, or whatever they want. Alcohol is a demonic potion which enhances aggression and violence because you're being possessed by these entities in the astral plane. Alcohol weakens your vibrational field, which allows these entities to enter your body. This is why people change to dark behaviors when they're intoxicated. The entities within them engage in violence and low-level sexual encounters. The whole world is drinking magic potions used for witchcraft. Why do you think you can buy alcohol in every shop and there's a pub on every street? Alcohol also weakens the immune system, kills brain cells, and reduces amounts of oxygen to reach the brain. Magic never disappeared. It was veiled in myths and stories to make it seem like a fantasy. 24-hour sale. Use the code HAPPY to save 15% on the Book of Wisdom. Hey people, the Book of Wisdom Volume 2 will be available October the 8th, 12 AM midnight. I will be releasing the new stage, the new era of human awakening. I can't wait to share this one with you. I just want to say thank you all for your support. There is limited stock and there will be no PDFs, only physical versions. I will be talking inside of this book about things that cannot be revealed online. I can't wait to share this one with you. Have an amazing day. You are living in the black cube matrix of Saturn. There is a deep meaning behind these black cubes you see in every major city. On the North Pole of Saturn, there is a hexagon, which is a cube. In your external reality, Saturn rules the roots of trees, bones, and underlying frameworks. Saturn is the god of conditions and limitation. This is why he's known as the god of time, because time is a limitation. Your physical body is a limitation for your infinite mind. Mind can project into the future and go backwards into the past. Your body cannot, because it's stuck to the three-dimensional world. The mind can expand into infinite fields of thought. There is nothing impossible with your mind. The energy of Saturn is being abused to condition your consciousness into a physical low state, trapping your mind in a three-dimensional way of thinking. Do this through religion, hence why all religions have symbolism of Saturn. They condition your mind through the educational system, hence why you wear a black cube on your head. This is why a judge wears a black robe to enforce limitation and laws. Black represents Saturn. It represents dense, cold matter and limitation. The truth about the pineal gland. It's not the third eye, it's the first eye. It is an eye. When you imagine something in your head and you see that image, that is that mind's eye seeing this image. You're a multidimensional being and your third eye has access to the astral plane. So when you imagine something in your head, you are literally creating out of astral matter. This is the dream world also. This is why your heel is hell and your head is heaven, because your head has access to the astral plane. The pineal gland has physioluminescent crystalline jagged shaped cells on it, which emits and reflects light. The more you activate your mind's eye through imagination, the lighter your mind becomes. This is why we say enlightenment. And that's why we have the Illuminati, which is illumination of the mind. It's both a material and a spiritual gland. This is why Jacob in the Bible calls the place pineal, where he's seen God face to face. Pineal is the pineal gland of your brain. I'll be hosting a live call tomorrow in my universe. You create demons. Demon is a demon. Mon is the moon, meaning emotion. D means negative. Demon is a negative emotion, which possess your mind, body, and spirit. You have a physical and an astral body. Constant negative thoughts and emotions create astral energy, which latches onto your body. These entities are created by your own thought forms. You feed them by giving them emotional and mental energy. Every addiction you have is an astral entity that you have created. The astral plane is the screen you have in your mind that allows you to imagine an apple. This is a whole other dimension and you have a body there. The more attention you give them, the bigger, the stronger, and more influence they have on your body. Thoughts and emotions are a lot more powerful than you think. They are the commands that bring things into existence. You are a magician. Imagination. I, magic nation. You are a magician. You bring non-physical thoughts into a physical reality. You've been doing magic your whole life. Demon is D-mon. Mon is moon, meaning emotion. D means negative. A demon is a negative emotion, which possess your mind, body, and spirit. These entities are created by your own thought forms. You feed them by giving them mental and emotional energy. Every addiction you have is an astral entity that you have created. The more thoughts and emotions that you give to these entities, the stronger impact they have over your physical body. I, Magi Nation. You are a magician, bringing thoughts and emotions into physical reality. You've been doing magic your whole life. Depression doesn't exist. You are thinking too much. You need to learn how to turn off thought by meditation. When thought is no longer present in your consciousness, depression, anxiety goes out the window. It does not exist. You rise above this. When you turn off the mind, the five senses, and emotion, other aspects of your mind and consciousness starts to open up, and this is when you can gain mystical experiences. You need to connect with the pure self. Your job, your name, your body, your worries, your money is not you. You are the I am. You need to connect with the source within you. By disconnecting all of these external factors, the true you is crying out. If you are depressed, if you are sad all the time, this is a reflection that your life is synthetic and unnatural. You need to connect with yourself. We are not in 2025. Month comes from the word moon, moonth. The moon has a 28-day moon cycle. 365 divided by 28 is 13. 13 lunar cycles every year, which means our calendar has a missing month, which means we don't know what year we're actually in.
This is gonna blow your mind. The sky is a clock. The sun tells the time of the day. The moon tells the day of the month. The stars tell you the month of the year. The sky above our head is intelligent. Everything on earth is matter. Everything above us is spirit. That's why they're floating. They're not rocks you can land on. The Gregorian calendar was made for slaves. Calendar comes from calends, the first day of the month the Romans had to pay off their debt. So what does all of this actually mean, and why did they do it? They made this fake calendar to cut off our connection with our celestial intelligence above and keep our mind, body and spirit out of rhythm with these cycles. We must live in harmony with the cycles above us. You can create abundance in your life with using the moon to your advantage. All of my students know that.
There was no year zero. You know why there's no year zero?
The word calendar comes from calends. Calends is the first day of the month the Romans had to pay off their debt. Calendar is an invention by Pope Gregory to remind people when to pay taxes. You are born into this copyrighted timeline, and this copyrighted timeline is on your birth certificate, which means you are owned by them. They did this also to lose concept of true time. We are not in 2024. The word month comes from moon, because a month is a 28-day lunar cycle. 365 divided by 28 is 13. We have 13 lunar cycles every year. Where is the missing month? This is where it gets crazy. We don't know what year we are truly in, people. The fluids in our body are in cycle with the moon. That's why women have a menstruation cycle every 28 days. The ancients would never eat anything on a full moon, and they would do rituals. Maybe they did this to keep us out of sync with the celestial bodies, because they hold influence over our consciousness. So much more that goes into